The history of Washington state is rich and varied, spanning thousands of years of Native American habitation, European exploration, and eventual statehood. Located in the Pacific Northwest, Washington's landscape of coastal beauty, towering mountains, and fertile valleys has shaped its development over time, contributing to its unique historical narrative. Before European settlers arrived, the area now known as Washington was home to a diverse array of Native American tribes. These indigenous people lived in harmony with the natural environment, relying on its abundant resources for their livelihood. Coastal tribes, such as the Makah, Suquamish, and Nooksack, thrived on fishing and whaling, while the inland tribes, like the Yakama, Nez Perce, and Spokane, depended on hunting and agriculture. The intricate social and trade networks among these groups created a rich cultural landscape long before the arrival of European explorers. The first recorded European contact with the region occurred in 1775 when Spanish explorer Bruno de Heceta sailed along the Pacific coast. However, it wasn't until the late 18th century that significant European exploration of the area began. In 1792, British naval officer George Vancouver sailed into Puget Sound, claiming the territory for Great Britain and mapping much of the region. Around the same time, American explorer Robert Gray entered the Columbia River, giving the United States a claim to the area. For much of the early 19th century, Washington was a contested territory. Both Great Britain and the United States laid claim to the region, but it was largely controlled by the Hudson's Bay Company, a British fur trading corporation. The company's fort at Fort Vancouver, near present-day Portland, Oregon, served as a hub of trade and European settlement in the Pacific Northwest. During this time, fur traders and trappers from both nations explored the region's vast forests and waterways, often working with local Native American tribes. Tensions between Great Britain and the United States over the Oregon Territory, which included present-day Washington, escalated throughout the early 1800s. The dispute was fueled by the expansionist policies of both nations and the growing number of American settlers arriving via the Oregon Trail. By the 1840s, American settlers outnumbered their British counterparts, and calls for the United States to annex the region grew louder. The border dispute was resolved in 1846 with the signing of the Oregon Treaty, which established the 49th parallel as the boundary between British North America, now Canada, and the United States, effectively giving the U.S. control over the Washington area. In 1853, Washington Territory was officially created, carved out of the larger Oregon Territory. The new territory was named after George Washington, the first U.S. president. Its first territorial governor, Isaac Stevens, prioritized infrastructure and development, particularly the construction of a transcontinental railroad to connect Washington to the rest of the country. However, his tenure was also marked by conflict with the region's Native American tribes. As more settlers moved into the area, tensions over land rights and resources led to a series of violent confrontations known as the Puget Sound Indian Wars, 1855 to 1856. These conflicts resulted in the forced relocation of many Native Americans to reservations. Despite these early struggles, Washington's population continued to grow, particularly after the discovery of gold in nearby British Columbia and Idaho during the mid-19th century. The territory became a destination for miners, traders, and entrepreneurs looking to capitalize on the region's natural wealth. Agriculture also flourished, as the area's fertile soil and temperate climate proved ideal for growing crops like wheat, apples, and hops. The arrival of the Northern Pacific Railway in the 1880s further transformed Washington, making it easier for settlers to move west and for goods to be transported to and from the state. Towns and cities sprang up along the rail lines, including Seattle, which would eventually become Washington's largest city. The railroad also facilitated the growth of the timber industry, as Washington's vast forests of Douglas fir and cedar became a valuable resource for the growing nation. Washington was admitted to the Union as the 42nd state on November 11, 1889. Its early years as a state were marked by rapid industrialization and economic expansion. The timber, fishing, and mining industries dominated the economy, and cities like Seattle, Tacoma, and Spokane grew rapidly as centers of trade and manufacturing. The construction of major infrastructure projects, such as the Grand Coulee Dam on the Columbia River in the 1930s, provided jobs and helped to generate electricity for the region. Washington's strategic location on the Pacific coast also made it a critical player in the military and economic history of the United States, particularly during the 20th century. During World War I and World War II, the state's shipyards and Boeing aircraft factories became key contributors to the war effort. Seattle emerged as a major industrial hub, and Boeing would go on to become one of the world's largest aerospace companies, cementing Washington's place as a center for innovation in aviation and technology. The mid-20th century saw Washington evolve into a more diverse economy. While the timber and fishing industries remained important, the rise of technology companies like Microsoft in the 1970s and Amazon in the 1990s transformed the state into a global center for tech innovation. The Seattle metropolitan area, in particular, became known for its vibrant economy, attracting workers and businesses from around the world. Washington's environmental beauty also played a role in shaping its identity, as the state became a leader in environmental conservation and outdoor recreation. Throughout its history, Washington has been shaped by its unique geography, its natural resources, and its diverse population. The state's economy, politics, and culture reflect a blend of influences, from its Native American heritage to its role as a hub for trade and technology. Today, Washington is known not only for its natural beauty, but also for its progressive politics, entrepreneurial spirit, and commitment to environmental sustainability. From its indigenous roots to its emergence as a global leader in technology, the history of Washington state is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of its people. Its journey from a contested territory to a state at the forefront of innovation mirrors the broader story of the American West, one of exploration, conflict, and transformation. As Washington continues to grow and change, it remains deeply connected to its past while forging a dynamic future. Thank you for listening to another episode of Loopholery, your go-to podcast channel for quick, witty, and insightful takes on random topics, all in 8 minutes or less. Whether we're diving into quirky facts, exploring weird loopholes, or just pondering life's strange questions, we keep it short, fun, and engaging. Perfect for curious minds on the go. Like or subscribe, and get your fix of unpredictable knowledge bites.